Hello, everybody. What in the heck is happening here? We're trying to go live on YouTube and Facebook at the same time just for test. We don't even really have a Facebook following, but we're trying to see if we can get it to work. There we go. Oh, it says, welcome to our live show. We didn't even go live a few minutes ago, and yet there we were. Okay, let's get this out here. Here we are for our regular Wednesday live.
Let's see. Test and get everything going so that hopefully we can become more professional in our
looks demeanor. Like we are live right there on Facebook. Interesting. Okay, well, here we go. Let's give it a shot. We have a lot we wanted to talk about today. I literally have a page of notes that we wanted to go over.
Hi, Kelly. Hi, Random Old Lady. Hi, Luna, Kat.
Thank you guys for joining us. Yeah. Kelly, thank you guys for being members.
Rainer, Allen.
Testing. Yeah.
Sammy
That's
Poe.
where we're at right now. Well, I feel like we're always trying to figure out our channel, and we're just all this new technology, and we are so technology illiterate, it feels like. And so we are trying our best to get as literate as possible when it comes to this kind of stuff. So this is live right now. So thank you guys. Yeah. Kelly Fowler, Random Old Lady, Luna Cat. Oh, that's funny. Shelly Rayner, Sammy Poe. Thank you guys for being members. We've been anticipating not anticipating, but talking about what to do with our channel. If we might move to more members only content, because our channel is just getting hijacked every time we turn around, and it's just getting to be exhausting. And
so at least whoever's attacking our channel has to become a member.
They can pay us to attack us is basically what we're saying. So we're just trying to figure that out right now, what we're going to do about that. For those of you that have a Patreon, we just set up our Patreon account, and the PDF that I said about projecting, the one that we were making, that's our first post on Patreon. So if you have a Patreon and you want to give us a follow over there, it's free for everyone to go download if you'd like. I'm going to put it in these show notes right here. So I think even if you don't have a Patreon, you can just click on it and it will take you straight to the PDF, which you can download. But we're trying to figure out the direction we want to take the channel. Because we love what we're doing. We have a lot of people who are very supportive of us, and I'm so tired of every video getting flagged from YouTube. Our video that we did with Tanya Toole telling what holding out help does was flagged and demonetized, and I've won every single appeal, but the problem is, even if we win the appeal, the video is now forever suppressed. And so it just doesn't even go. So if you see one of our videos that you like and you want to give it a share, please feel free to do that. We would really appreciate that too. Button. Yeah, because it is really, it's really discouraging and frustrating. Because now the video will forever be suppressed. I think it has 2,000 views on it. And all it is explaining what holding out help does, and Tanya and how she works, what they do. So, and then the live that we did a big live, which we want to talk about some stuff on that was said on that live. We want to go into a little bit more detail. The live that we did in a collaboration with Growing Up in Polygamy, Christine, Amanda Ray, Holding Out Help, and Corey and I, that one was demonetized as well, and of course won that appeal, but now that will forever be suppressed video. So
shouldn't be given.
Yeah, they don't tell us why it was flagged. All it says is inappropriate content, and so it's super frustrating. And so we're trying to decide if we're going to move to a more of a paywall system, because there are things that we would like to talk about that maybe we don't want to put out there quite so publicly too. So we did start up our Patreon, And I think we're going to go a little bit deeper into some other topics there.
Yep.
Hey, Katie, welcome. Um, um, this one says, I really don't see why you guys are getting flagged. Oh, come on. What? They're doing an upgrade on the live chat, and it's just, it's not that we're doing anything wrong. It's just that there's people out there who want to suppress our channel. And that's all it is just angry people with angry lives who have nothing better to do than come on here and suppress our channel. That's it. Hopefully, I think they're hoping that they discourage us enough to quit. And honestly, it has.
Doing God's work.
Yeah.
AUB's God's
Yeah.
work.
I don't know if Melissa and Sam's video got flagged. I should text her and ask her that. Ours did. And so Melissa hosted it. And then we came in as like a co-host, I guess is what you want to call it. We were the only channel that did that. Amanda didn't do it. And Christine tried to do it on Instagram, but it kept
Booting her out.
Yeah, booting her out. And so Instagram's a lot more picky about their content and what can and can't be said. And if they even detect a slight like music in the background or anything like that, then they will instantly shut you down. So what's going on?
She's just, Jamie's helping us out, and I appreciate her. I'm wearing our merch too. So.
Yeah. So we're just trying to decide what direction we want to take the channel, if we want to take it to more members only content, because that way, if they are going to flag the content, at least they have to pay us to be able to see it, to be able to flag it and turn it in. So we're looking into that now, and we'll get back to you guys and let you know kind of which direction we decide to go. We'll still have general population public content that we can do, but for the most part, if we talk about anything that's like deeper, then so this video will probably get flagged eventually too. And then I don't know if I'll end up turning it just to members only or how we'll end up doing that. But anyways, that's what we've been dealing with for the last couple of days, and trying to figure that out. Cause I'm like, really, we're just trying to help promote Holding Out Help and helping their 12 days of freedom. But again, for those of you who are Sister Wives fans and you saw when Holding Out Help when the teenagers went to Holding Out Help, how worried Christine was and Janelle was. And we did a video on that with the Sister Wives professor. If any of you guys watch him, he's fantastic. Dr. Adam. He, we did a back interview thing with him on that, and remember that. And so we watched that episode, and you can see how scared Janelle and Christine and how concerned they are about the kids coming up to Salt Lake and actively participating with Holding Out Help. So that could be some of why. I don't know. What do you think?
Why we're getting flagged?
Yeah, because people genuinely are concerned about Holding Out Help.
Within the communities, yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree. We were taught to fear the outside world. We were taught to fear people who were kind even in the outside world, because they had learned the art of the silver tongue and could sway you down Lucifer's path. And I'm like, but I mean, as I've come out of it and they talk sense, they actually make sense. They're actually there to help and encourage people to make their own choices. And that scares the crap out of the authorities, the righteous brethren of the AUB, who are used to making those decisions for people.
Yeah.
They need a group of people that are to listen to their every word. If people start thinking for themselves, their community dissolves. So
yeah. And I think too, when they see people, especially the prophet's daughter, on public platforms speaking about it, that is a threat. That's a threat to the powers that be. That's a threat to the leadership. And so, yeah, whatever they can do to shut it down. Again, I don't know if it's all AUB. I think I have my suspicions on who I think it is. Of course, there's no way I can prove a lot of that. I wish that YouTube would keep track of the things that happen, but again, we're new at this. We have so many other content creators who are so wonderful, and you guys have been so great. Thank you so much. Jamie, spelled Jame,
Yeah,
just gifted 5 memberships. We really
you are
appreciate that.
amazing.
Thank
Yeah.
you. So yeah, what?
Well, and it's also because within the community, you are speaking with authority, uh, which is amazing. You're speaking with authority, with power, with knowledge, and within the AUB, you should only be talking to young ladies within the Relief Society. You shouldn't be talking
You know,
to
who do I think I
men.
am? Some woman
Men.
out on the internet
Yes.
talking about stuff. I need to mind my business.
Yeah. You've moved out of your lane and you're speaking with just as much authority as the PSR
Yeah.
in the AUB, and that's uncomfortable for a lot of people within the AUB.
And we have had a lot of other creators reach out to us and say, try this with your platform, try this with your and so and we thank you guys so much. We're going to be working a little bit more one-on-one with the Sister Wives professor, who is going to help us do a couple of other things, which I just adore him and his wife. But yeah, somebody says, is it this other creator still reporting you, or do you think it's people from the AUB? I think it's people from the AUB, to be honest. I think that other creator just, I don't have any juicy gossip for her to report on. So she just has, she watches our content because she quotes us a lot. She doesn't quote us and give us credit. However, she does quote what we have to say, which is fine. I get it. But yeah, I'm a woman speaking out with some level of authority, and that pisses people off.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do about that all the time, other than just do what it is. So we're figuring it out, and then we will let you guys know what we're going to do. We'll always do these lives. I think for forever we'll do these lives because we love them. We love being able to interact with everybody.
It's where I'm most comfortable. So
Yeah.
it really is.
And lives are really, we love to interact with you guys. I think we will probably do some members only lives just so that we can answer some deeper questions that maybe we don't feel so comfortable just throwing it out there. But thank you, Julie Reeves, for becoming a member. Thank you. Yeah. So right now, somebody says, so should I become a member or a Patreon? Honestly, here is probably better than Patreon right now because we're learning Patreon. We don't know that site very well. We do have an account. Everything that we post on Patreon right now will be public until we can figure it out. And then once we get that platform figured out,
we'd love you to follow us over there too.
Yeah. So feel free to follow both of us, but everything that we do there will be free for right now. We won't have a paywall until we figure that side out. So, but we just have to do something because it's getting discouraging on YouTube, and YouTube, no matter how many times I email them or try to talk to them about it, it's just not getting resolved. And it's just every single video. And the good thing about it is that once I appeal it and I win all of the appeals, the video does get remonetized, but then it's suppressed forever. So that's what's frustrating. So, welcome, Amy Dover. Thank you for being a member.
Yeah. You guys being members are helping us out immensely.
Yeah, the membership is really what keeps our channel going. Yeah. I did want to clear up something from the live that we did last week. So when we are doing lives, sometime, especially if the conversation or the subject topic is a little heavier, or then in my mind, I think I answered something one way, and then we go back and we watch it and I'm like, oh shoot, that's not what I said. So I wanted to clear one thing up. We were talking about essay abuse, and we were talking about McKelty, and we were saying, were we able to talk about the abuse that we had? And I made the comment that I was told we couldn't talk about it. Now, I was never told I specifically couldn't talk about being abused or who the abuser was. We were just highly shamed and highly guilted for wanting to ruin someone else's life, or wanting to, that's in the past. Everybody's over it. Like, you need to get over it. And so there was, a bunch of stuff that happened with, Oh, good night. Thanks, Jamie. Jamie jumped in and says, thank you. Thank you for gifting the memberships, and says she can't stay long, but I appreciate that. I appreciate the memberships yeah. And then welcome, Amy Dover. Welcome to being a member. So I just wanted to clear that up. I was never specifically told that I couldn't talk about the abuse that I suffered with my grandfather, but if I brought it up, my mom and my dad both loved to take us on trips all the time. And they were the best guilt trips you've ever been on. It
Mm.
was one guilt trip after another. It was insane. And so after one particular night, there was some stuff going on with some siblings, with some of my brothers. And I did not actively want to participate in that. I got up, I walked out of the room, or we were sleeping outside. I walked out, and my parents were watching what had happened. They didn't stop it. They were watching what had happened to see what their children were going to be doing, right? Instead of going in there and stopping it. And and so the next day, as I'm talking to my mom, because then my mom goes to work, I'm left to take care of the children. There's no food. I have no way to feed these kids. I'm calling my mom and talking to her the next day. And the guilt trip I got to take on that day was, well, I'm sorry, I have to go to work. And some of my kids don't care if I get enough sleep. And they kept me up all night. And so then it's like you get to figure out what to feed your siblings for the day because I'm at work trying to figure this out. So we were guilted and shamed for talking about the abuse that we went through. But I was never directly told I couldn't talk about it. So I just wanted to clear that up because um, I definitely, the way that I said it made it sound like I was specifically told I couldn't talk about it, and I wasn't. I just was guilted.
Yeah.
There you
The
go. That was a long explanation, Jesus.
yeah. The way we were raised, you did not uh, listen to some of McKelty's thing that she felt like she was uh, she'd get one-on-one time when she was in trouble. Yeah, we tended to all get in trouble for stuff
Yeah.
that I was raised a little bit different. I think it came to a point in my life where
No, not Disneyland.
we didn't tell the parents anything
Yeah.
because what would happen if the parents we would be in trouble, uh, we would get talked to, shamed, all of that stuff, and so it almost felt like growing up that we were there was prison rules. The
Yeah.
parents were the prison guards, and you didn't snitch on other siblings and vice versa. And whenever people were called in to meetings to find something out, everybody kept quiet. And
Yeah.
so my parents didn't know a lot of stuff. I didn't feel comfortable going and talking to them
Right.
about anything. So, yeah,
Yeah.
my siblings and I were the ones that communicated with
And
each other.
unfortunately, that
So
is
we didn't
the
have
case with a
parents.
lot of polygamous kids.
Um,
You learn to team up and
yep,
and then you learn which children you can express things to and which ones you can't, because
exactly.
some of your siblings will sell you down that river pretty freaking fast. And and so yeah, you learn which siblings are safe and which siblings aren't safe. Beth says, did our parents have the same parenting book?
They did.
Those damn trips, they're exhausting. They're the worst guilt trips. And unfortunately, I was raised on a guilt trip my entire life. My
Yeah.
mom to this day does guilt trips so well, very well. And I turn around and I've done them to my children. And I don't even realize that I'm doing it. And my kids have said, "Mom, what are you doing?" And it's something that I'm really working on being a lot more conscious of now because I am so bad at it. It is I shouldn't say bad. I'm actually really good at it, unfortunately. And so I don't want to be that way. And guilt trips in the sense that I don't even realize, like, that wasn't a guilt trip. I was just saying that, and our kids are like, "Yeah, no, that felt pretty guilty." Um so yeah, I just wanted to clear that up because on that last live, my mom did make a comment stating that she didn't remember it being that way. And I'm like, remember what being what way? So I went back to rewatch it. And so I definitely want to clear that up. So thank you so much. Just a small town girl for those jewels. Thank you. Um, and then
Kathy.
welcome Kathy Rocks to being a membership. I appreciate that. We genuinely appreciate that. Creating a safe space for children to speak is important. It's heartbreaking that you weren't given that opportunity. And we 100% were not given a clean, clear space to be able to talk about abuse. When I did talk about some of the abuse that went on between some of my uncles and some of my brothers, my mom's comment to me was, I can't blame your brother. He was just sowing some wild oats. That's a quote. And so it's some of those things where it's like, again, you're discounted and dismissed. Um, and what my grandma's comment was, why would you bring that up now? He's an old elderly man. Like, you know,
Mhm.
let him live out the rest of his life. Like, get over it.
Because I didn't have a voice when I was a child.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And so no, we were not given those voices. Um, Using guilt or shame is very common way, whether intentional or not, to silence someone and make them feel like they shouldn't talk about a certain topic. And that's what was happened. Was I verbally told, no, I couldn't talk about this? No, but I was guilted and shamed to the point where I did not express these things or these concerns to my parents. And one time when I did express something, my uncle was moved to Montana to live with Corey's family when some of his sisters and some of his nieces and nieces and nephews brought stuff up. And so then it's like, well, look, you just destroyed this whole family by talking about this. So as a small child, it felt to me that I was told I couldn't talk about it. And so that's the way I relate it. But I want to clear that up because I want to speak as truthfully as I can. Go ahead.
No, I just would say that within our household, I felt like that there were some mothers that had uh, better relationships with their kids. There was just an experience in my childhood that made me not trust to be able to tell my parents things that
Yeah.
were going on in my life. Some of our younger siblings, the parents changed their parenting. They started reading actual parenting books from outside of the AUB, probably. And so, hey, you know what? And I feel like that's kind of hey, we kind of messed up on this older bunch of kids. So let's try to do better on the next. So at least I felt like that our parents were working to do better with the next batch of kids, the next batch of kids, the
Yeah.
next batch of kids. Uh, I just didn't. It was me personally. Some of my siblings might say the same, where I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel safe to go and tell my parents anything, because either we were going to get in trouble, we were going to get chastised, whatever it
Yeah.
was. There was zero safety, and I do have. So I shouldn't say same thing, all. This was just my experience. Younger siblings did feel comfortable going and talking to uh, the parents
Right.
and things that went on. And
Right.
so,
Yeah. Why does this culture protect abusers? I think so
uh,
many different cultures protect abusers. I think it depends on who the abuser is and the status within that society. But secret societies will always protect abusers. They're just the way. That's where people can find um, the most vulnerable people to abuse. What were you going to say?
I don't know. I'm analyzing this too because, again, I grew up in this society. I feel like as I'm looking back at this society, the way I grew up, even though they said uh, sexuality, that they taught that sex you should be chaste, that children were for only for procreation, that you shouldn't be having sex outside of marriages or procreating. This kind of environment where men and women are always looking for um, a spouse, where older men are always looking for a newer, younger spouse. There is to me, felt like that there was a um, space. It was very sexualized the way we grew up. It
Yeah.
was you there was something going on, somebody this excitement around a new wife or things going on all of the time. And
Yeah.
so we grew up in a where you weren't supposed to talk about it. You're not supposed to do it. You're not supposed to this, but there is always some sort of tension or sexual tension or things
Mhm.
like that where um it was just weird. I don't know. I'm not a therapist. I would love to have a therapist analyze things.
Yeah.
I also look at polygamy. Somebody the it in again, I'm telling this from my version, my idea as a kid growing up in it. I didn't feel like it was a healthy environment. I don't some
So let's
uh,
just go on
Chris
record really quick saying
yeah,
this.
Christine said that polygamy is not the problem. I do feel like polygamy has is the problem. It has this uh and if you lived it a different way, if you did something that could be but to me, it was the problem. But I do encourage it should be legal. Why do I encourage that? That's so that I mean, it has been being lived for 200 years in secret, in a
Mhm.
secret society, hidden underground. Uh, child psychologists, marriage counselors, all of these have no clue how to give people advice in those
Mhm.
areas. And so, uh, the doctrines that they're teaching you on how to do it are 200 years old too, and they're they're not all correct. uh, as you get out into the world, as you learn more about psychology and things like that,
Yeah.
some of the things that they're doing are damaging. So
Yeah. So
it's not a
Corey's
healthy experience for
referring to
children.
the live that we did with growing up in polygamy. There
Yeah,
was a comment that was made by Christine, and I love Christine. We have
yeah,
I'm
that's her
we're
opinion.
friends.
That's
That's
great.
her opinion. Just for public record, I do not agree with that. Polygamy is the problem here.
Hmm.
It's a secret society. When that comment was made, I was a little bit stunned. Like polygamy's not the problem here. It's the people, and I agree with her to that extent. It is the people
Yeah,
who corrupt things and um make them horrible. And so I do agree with her with that regard, but polygamy is also the problem here too. It creates what we were talking about earlier, and I love the way you said it, and I'm only going to just like nudge you to explain it again, is that we were raised in a very sexualized environment. Not sexualized, but everyone was vying for someone else's attention
yeah,
sexually.
there you
So
go.
go ahead. What did you say with that? And so it
Um,
is and so polygamy does become the problem because it
yeah.
now sex is on your mind all the time, and if you can be the one that your husband pays attention to, he's going to prefer you over a sister wife. There's a level of competition there all the time.
And here's the thing too, they say, uh, children are better. It takes a village to raise children. That's true. I feel like we have a village helping us raise children. Aunts, uncles, grandparents. Uh, we don't need another wife to help raise up the children uh, to do that. I mean, yes, if you can, but there comes something, and again, only from a child's perspective.
Yeah.
There comes when two women are rivaling against each other.
Yeah.
Um, I felt like that I had when they're not always how do I put it? There are some women that can go, "Hey, this is my husband's child from another wife. I'm going to have kindness towards that child." But that doesn't always happen. When there is frustration, um, going on within the society. Wives are angry at each other, which happens. It's just not on TV. That wonderful stuff. They actually are not consistently at peace, they try to pick out these beautiful highlights of that one time on Thursday when they were all sister wives
Mhm.
loving each other and supporting each other. And that was a lovely day. But most of the rest of the time, one wife is frustrated with another,
Yeah.
or multiple wives are frustrated with one wife or something like that. And they're not always kind to that wife's child.
Yeah.
So, or children. So, and
Yeah.
vice versa. And the kids can feel that too. I feel like the kids can feel it. And so, if one mother was frustrated with another mother, then those kids would be frustrated with each other. It just rolled downhill. And so, it's not a calm, conducive, uh, it's a calm, conducive, loving environment one Thursday a month. So,
And it
and
is, it's frustrating, and I also understand where people like Christine are coming from. They had children, they raised their families in this religion. That's hard to stop and say, "Wait, the religion is the problem." But Beth made a comment up here, "The doctrine is the problem," and I
it
agree with
is,
that,
yeah.
absolutely. I was a little stunned when Christine said polygamy was not the problem, and again, she's entitled to her own opinion. My opinion would be polar opposite to that. I do believe it is the problem. I do believe, we were taught our entire lives that the main leaders that started polygamy have always said polygamy will damn and condemn more men than it will save. Is that a risk you're willing to take? I don't know. So I just wanted to go on public record stating just because we were on that live does not mean that we agree with that. I do not agree with that. I definitely feel like polygamy um,
Has its problems.
has a ton of problems
Absolutely.
and it breeds predators. And so, thank you so much.
It
Oh,
attracts,
it
I would
attract
say, attracts and grooms.
yeah.
So, yeah.
And well, and then one of the things that I wrote, I have like a whole page of notes here. Another
Oh,
thing that she said was that women were born or that we were born to lie. And then she came corrected herself and said, no, we were taught to lie.
mhm.
And I feel like we've talked about that on our channel a dozen times that we didn't believe that they came out to lie to the public. It's just what we were taught. We were
Mhm.
literally taught to lie. We were
You
literally taught to say, this is good, this is good, this is good when it's not.
you
So,
could have one conversation in church, and then you were supposed to almost deny everything that you were just taught in church when it came to a public
yeah.
conversation with the outsiders. You do not cast your pearls before swine was their teaching.
Yeah.
These these are higher laws that you guys are being given, and so when somebody asks you um, certain things, you explain it in the Gentile way.
Yeah.
No, we don't do that.
Yeah.
No, we don't. Uh, and it's one of those things where we read a whole article that Rulin, or sorry, Owen sent, and we don't do underage marriages. We don't do this. We turn things in when it's convenient.
Mhm.
And if we do underage marriages, it's because the girl was um,
Felt old
very
enough.
mature for her age.
Coercive control.
And I'm sorry, we were children, and yet we were put into positions of responsibility,
Yeah.
helping raise our siblings. We were uh, put into high levels of responsibility at very young ages. And so on the outside, we do look more mature for our age because we never got to grow up and be
We
children.
never got to yeah, we
To
never got to
it,
be children.
yeah, to experience that childlike stuff. We were working, we were helping raise, we were studying scriptures. And so all of a sudden you're talking to a 14-year-old that has been raised and taught to study scriptures, cook, clean,
To be a 20-year-old
yeah.
at 14.
And so they look like that they are very
Mhm.
mature for their age, and yet they've never been given the opportunity to
Yeah.
just be a teenager. Just so
Yeah.
again,
And it
we were very well groomed.
Yeah. And
growing up.
there's nothing that you can do once you've done it. Like there's nothing that you can do. I'm sure Christine has regret for raising her children in the fear that she raised them in. At the time she believed what she
But
was doing was correct. I'm sure that my parents have at least my mother has some regret in raising us in the fear that they raised us in. And once it's done, it's done. But to invalidate your children's experience and say that's not true, that never happened, is wrong. That is wrong for a parent to do that as a child gets over. And every child has a different experience.
yeah.
Another thing that we were talking about that I wrote down is that one of the questions that Tanya asked us was being cut off. So when you leave polygamy, one of the biggest things that you lose is the sense of community, right? And then when you start publicly speaking out, now you not only get cut off by the community, but now you get cut off by people who have already left. And not all the time, but sometimes. And I have experienced this a lot lately. Some of my siblings that were never a part of the AUB. They never really went to church. They never really actively participated in anything in the AUB. Have cut me off now for speaking out publicly. And I forgot where I was going with that, but I feel like with Christine, it's like, okay, so you did raise your children in this, okay, and you're speaking out and you're being an advocate for people who've been in in this situation. Okay, great. And now validate your children's experiences.
Yeah.
I wish my mom had it in her to validate my experiences. There's nothing that I've talked about on my channel that I have not already spoken to my mom about privately. I wish my dad would validate some of my experiences. There's nothing on this channel that I haven't talked to my dad about. And some of my siblings, same thing. It's like I experienced a life that some of my siblings never even came close to experiencing. And so to invalidate my experiences because they didn't go through that is a shame.
Well, but that's interesting too, because I think we've talked about this too. We did grow up within a society that you don't, that it was a prison system, if you
Yeah.
will. You don't talk about your mom's family. You don't talk
Mhm.
about the main family. You don't talk about and so it's almost, we were groomed into, you cannot talk, or it is impolite or improper to talk about
Yeah.
things going through, because the leadership could use it against you, whatever, the government's going to use it against you.
Yeah.
And so it's still bred into us as small children to be afraid to
Yeah.
communicate and talk.
Yeah.
And so even though they weren't raised maybe necessarily having the religion uh, forced into them, they still had those golden rules of family etiquette
Mhm.
that we were raised with.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I want to acknowledge this one. Thank you so much, One Nation Under Christ, Chrissy, um, for that super chat. Thank you. It says, have you watched the Cults to Consciousness with McKelty yet? Also, your biggest fan here. Thank you.
yeah.
Even my husband watches. Oh, I love that.
Oh, thank you.
Uh, we are
I just finished it.
Corey just finished it, and I honestly, I haven't watched any more of it from last week when we watched it. Um, yeah, we have a lot to say about that. I feel like do we just talk about it on live or do we try to make a video on it? I don't know. I don't
I don't
know.
know.
I was gonna reach out to McKelty and see if she wanted to talk a little bit more about it. Um, necessarily I don't necessarily need to know the details of what she went through. I don't really care about the details as much
She
as
grew up in the same society we
right,
did. So,
as the emotions and the feelings
yeah.
of what's happening and to feel invalidated or to be told that never happened or to be told things like that. Um, I think that's what I'd like to speak with her about is that part of the experience, if you will.
One of the things that I noticed she said in there is she appreciated certain things. She when Robin came into the family, she appreciated that, and a lot of the comments, and even myself growing up in the community and stuff, was like, well, you're being manipulated, which is good,
Right.
but she's also being woke up to the fact that she can actually speak, that that that's something that's scary, or she talks about tattletaling there. I really enjoyed that whole part of it because I'm like, yep, she grew up in the same, under the same, somewhat of the same rules that we grew up in. Um,
Yeah.
uh, but uh, two things can be true at the same time, where Robin can be listening and doing stuff and also manipulating. And I think she said that at that, she's like, I really enjoyed that part of it because she was like, and Robin, yeah, Robin, she's analyzing it too, but Robin could have been manipulating. But that manipulation could have changed uh, dynamics within the
Mm-hmm.
family. It's interesting too that she's talking about, uh, and those are questions that only McKelty can answer. Is um, once the show started, uh, did the parents have money so that they could then spend more time with the
Mm-hmm.
kids, spend more time being parents to their children? Disciplining changed from that point on because cameras were probably on.
Yeah.
Um,
So how much of it
so,
really was Robin coming in and changing
or the
things, or
dynamics
the
of the
dynamics of the
show,
show?
where now the family needs to be on the best behavior, including the parents. And
Yeah.
so the parents then start to go, okay, how can we do it better? And then that's the thing. You as a parent, I was interested in that. If I'm going to be a parent and I think that there's a TV camera on me where I can look back, am I going to become a better parent?
Well, even
Probably. It's
still, like,
going to
we
be amazing.
digitalized our home videos,
Yeah.
right? And even still, we knew we were recording each other. And
Yeah.
there's times where you're like, damn it, why
Dang
didn't I
it.
just
I
give
don't,
that kid a hug right
yeah.
then?
He
Why
needed
am
a
I
hug.
chirping at him when I could have just
Mm,
hugged him and loved him right
tell him
then?
to take out the garbage.
Right.
So,
Right. And so we even catch ourselves on just our home videos. And so I can imagine you are on your best behavior when there's cameras around and what's happening there. So again, I feel like you can't go back and change what you did, but to invalidate your children and their experiences, that feels,
yeah,
it feels like you're victimizing your child twice.
I want to
So,
answer that one there.
but let me do this really quick first.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Diane Phaser. Thank you for gifting those memberships. We really appreciate that. And again, we're gonna figure out a structure that we can do that hopefully our videos stop getting tagged. Hopefully somebody just gets exhausted and gives up and moves on with their life. But yeah.
We appreciate the dedication of that fan. It's amazing.
But if they're
So,
gonna do it, then at least they should pay for it. Which question did you want to get to? Sorry.
just so did you grow up?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you for that super chat. The wrong two shoes. Oops.
Shoes too. So, not
The
necessarily.
question is, so did you grow
Yeah.
up with no tattling rule too?
And I don't feel like that we did. We were encouraged because it's interesting. Again, two things can be true. There was a kind of a unspoken rule that uh, there was a level of authority that you would take if you had to tell on
Mhm.
somebody, and you were telling on somebody for their own good, that they were getting in trouble and you wanted to save their soul, and so you would go tell the designated parent that about it. That quickly changed. I felt like there was an experience in my life where we told on some siblings. They got in a lot of trouble and it scared us. It really did, because some of the
And
discipline.
that will be a paywall experience that he
So,
shares on that one,
okay.
because it's or you're not going to go into detail on
No,
it now,
no,
are you?
no, I'm
I mean,
not.
you can.
No.
I just
So,
definitely think that's a very traumatic one. Very, very
yeah.
traumatic. And I feel like maybe that's a little bit not for alive.
And that discipline basically made each one of us kids look at each other
Yeah.
and say, "We will never trust, um, that our parents have our best interests in mind."
Yeah.
And so it is up to us to, if you will, but we there were a group of us that made an agreement that we would never tell a parent on each other ever. And we had, so I feel like the technique that my parents felt like that they needed to employ for discipline basically made each one of us kids go, yeah, we'll never tell them another thing until we're grown adults. I mean, there's some things that my mom and dad never knew about any of us.
Yeah.
So even later on in life, she's like, "What?" And it's because the technique they used to discipline us, it was like, "Yep, we will never trust them again." And so, prison rules, yeah, snitches get stitches. So we were like, "Nope, we're nobody told on anybody after that for a certain group of kids." So,
And this can go both directions too. It's fascinating. I was just having a conversation with one of my daughters before this live, and we were talking about how implied there's implied things that happen, right? And she feels the heavy responsibility of being the happy child, the happy, and we were talking about this and I was like, I'll bet that felt pretty heavy because a lot of people are basing their major life events around her birth because her birth was so significant. It was there was a whole bunch like she was just the happiest child. Um it was a big thing because I had divorced my ex-husband and married Corey, and this is the first child we'd had together. So she's about to get married and she's being told all the time, "You're too young. You're not old enough. What are you doing?" She's almost 20. She's almost 23. She'll be 23 within weeks after she gets married. And so for her, she's like, "I'm tired of being looked at like a little kid." And so we were talking about projecting and how, and I
mhm,
said, "Well, I think a lot of people are projecting what happened in their life onto you because you were a significant pivotal point in all of our lives when you were born."
mhm,
And I said, "But what a heavy weight that must be for you to have to pack around all the time." And she's like, "It is, mom. It's very," and so it's not just negative things either. So we viewed this as being a very positive thing. She was a happy little child, um, as spicy as they come, man. That girl could scream a house down. But she was also, as people have found out she's engaged, she's getting married, they're just like, how can you be that way? How can that even be? You were just barely born yesterday. And so she's being, and what made her have this realization is she is a bank branch manager and the youngest that the bank has ever hired. And she just got a new employee who came in and started treating her like a child right off the bat, not realizing she was the bank manager. And she's like, "I'm tired of being treated like a child." And so I asked her, I said, "What caused you? Like, why do you feel like you're being treated like a child all the time?" So I started asking more questions. We started digging deeper. And this is where it came out to is the fact that she feels like that's a heavy thing that she's had to carry her whole life is being the happy child, being the one that is just, everyone bases where they were in their life when she was born because it was a huge thing that I had divorced my ex-husband and remarried Corey, who was also a part of the AUB. And now we have produced a child. And my ex-husband used to say to me all the time, "Don't worry, I'm going to take care of her in the afterlife," because he fully believes that she belongs to him. And so this was a really big experience for everyone and me being one of the oldest. All the younger kids watched this happen. I was the first one to experience a divorce like that. I was the first one to do a lot of these things. So, anyways, that was a very long tangent. Sorry, but
mm,
it is. But the our we as if she would have said that to me and I would have went, "Oh, that's ridiculous. That didn't happen like that. You're being overreactive," and invalidated where she was coming from with that. And instead of asking her more questions, "Where did this come from? Why do you feel this way?" I mean, that could have just shut her down right then and there instead of
mhm.
having these validating conversations with her and saying, okay, where did you first feel like you were being treated like a child? And so were you projecting? Were they projecting? What's happening here? And so we were able to get to that point of it where she's like, Mom, I'm tired of people treating me like I'm not an adult, and I am an adult, and I run an entire she runs one of the largest bank branches in Salt Lake, and she's the bank branch manager, and she's like, I am perfectly capable, and yet I'm being treated as if I'm a small child, and I'm not. And so yeah, I haven't even had this conversation
Mm,
with you. I didn't even tell you because you were
yeah.
gone to work. So yeah, I feel like I as a parent want to validate my children's experiences, and it feels really heavy when, especially when, let's just talk about passive aggressive behavior for 1 second. It feels very passive aggressive when I can't get a phone call from my own mother to give me a call to tell me why she's upset with me. She just makes comments in my comment section during a live. That feels very passive aggressive to me. And we were raised in a very passive aggressive society, and I feel so invalidated by so many different things. And I might have to go out and delete this part of the live after we're done. I don't know. But I really hope that if you are a parent and you're listening to this, validating your children is so important.
Mhm.
Um, I'm telling this to myself, validating my children is so important.
Well, even myself, us growing up the way we did, I feel, uh, yeah, you were talking about listening to some of the things I felt uh, sad. I try to apologize. I try to, um, but there were times in my life, especially as we watched some of the old videos, that I was sharp. I
Mhm.
didn't want to be that sharp. There's other times too that I'm sure our kids were raised.
Yeah.
Some of the older kids were raised um, in with some religion in their life, and then as we were deconstructing our religious beliefs and everything like that, I felt like they deconstructed right along with us. But um, we even had a daughter that was going to the bishop. She felt guilt or shame, uh, and that had to be
Mhm.
have taught by us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where again, our younger uh, children probably didn't get as
No,
indoctrinated as the
not at
older
all.
ones. So
Not at all.
we're learning too. We're trying. We're not perfect parents either. So
Right.
and we're constantly trying to reevaluate and change our behavior. So
All right.
and
And
I'm
I,
55, so hopefully I'm not stuck in the ways of my past. So
right. Lightly baked witch. Thank you so much. And I have not responded to your email, but I have read it and I will be responding to that. Says you two sharing so openly has given me so much validation, help, and support. I appreciate you so much. My healing journey has kicked my sweet, sweet ass so hard lately. Isn't it?
ours,
Isn't it? Yeah. I feel like we're deep in the throes of
we're,
stuff right now.
yeah, we're still healing. I mean, this is going to be a life. I feel like that this will be a lifelong uh, deconstructing
Yeah.
of the beginning of our life, how we were raised, things like that. We're deconstructing it. We're constantly learning. We're trying to become better.
Yeah.
I kids want to make. I am so proud of my kids. I want them to be so much better than
Better than we are.
we are.
Yeah.
So they, man, blow us out of the water, become such
Well,
and they are.
even
They're
just having
amazing
the
human
conversation with
beings.
her today, when
Hmm.
I was like, "So, do you feel like that they were projecting or were you were projecting?" Like, I wouldn't even known what projecting was at that age. I was just like, "No, it's 100% my fault. Everything's my fault all the time. I need to make sure my parents are okay." I felt like such a huge sense of responsibility to make sure that my family, mostly my mom and my siblings, were okay. And so I would pick up things that didn't belong to me emotionally. And that has been really, really hard for me recently because I am 100% losing relationships because I refuse to pick up things that don't belong to me anymore. I will not fix things that I didn't break. I will not fix things that I didn't hurt. And if someone has an issue with that, then they can come and speak directly to me instead of to everyone else around me. And if you don't have it in you to come and do that, then I don't have it in me to have a relationship. So when I listen to her and I listen to how emotionally intelligent she is at 22 years old, I'm like, oh my God. And that's another thing I want to point out that Holding Out Help offers is just the mental therapy.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, that's what you heard in the live. All of us express over and over and over again is the mental therapy. You can leave a cult long as many
You
times as you want
physically
to physically,
you
but
can
you
physically leave.
mentally and
Mentally, it's
emotionally,
so difficult. It's
yeah,
constant battle.
yeah.
So,
And here we are, I mean, 55, 52, and we're still just discovering things about ourselves that we're like, oh shit, that was programming that we did
mhm.
not realize we still had going on. And we're still trying to figure some of that out right now. And it's been super shitty. I won't even lie. And we want to take you guys along for that ride so that you can see like some of our deconstruction processes for sure. Because yeah, yeah. And
Thanks,
okay,
Carrie.
thank you so much, Carrie BB for becoming a member. 9608. Thank you for becoming a member. I know somebody says if you want to grow your channel, member only content will slow down your growth. There are many people who support you with views and interactions and sharing, which are all more
Yeah.
valuable than money. And I absolutely agree. My frustration that I get, I'm not worried about the money. If we don't ever make a dollar at this, that's fine. My frustration is once our videos get reported, then they get suppressed, even if I win the appeal. And so then they're still
Yeah,
suppressed. And
but
then our videos aren't even getting out there. People aren't even seeing them. Like our Holding Out Help video, I think on average, we average, I don't know, somewhere between 7,500 and 10,000 views per video. And obviously, our Sister Wives content always gets a lot more than that. And the minute that video went out, I think it has 2,000 views now, which is fine. But it's just,
yeah.
it makes me wonder is the separation and the people that are hating, are we reaching enough people? Are we doing enough?
Mhm.
I guess that's where my
Well, and if
question
we're
is.
reaching people and they're sharing and liking and doing all of that stuff, that's very appreciative too. I think that will help. So,
Right. No,
so
and
nope, I agree with you there. So,
no, and that's where this feels like this constant battle in my head. I
mhm,
don't want to do a paywall for that reason.
mhm.
And at the same time, yeah, it's a tricky place to be in right now. I'm not really sure what.
If we knew that one person, we'd just charge them.
Yeah, yeah. Can you just pay us $4.99 and then report us all you
And then
want?
you can report us all you want.
Yeah. No,
Well,
it's ridiculous. I don't know. Again, what is happening here?
what'd you do?
I didn't do anything. I have no idea where that just came from. Something just popped up on our screen. Sorry about that. Okay. Was there ever a time before your 20s that you considered leaving? Have you found that there's one major reason people make the decision to leave? I did not consider leaving before my 20s. I didn't feel like I had the choice to leave. I was 22 by the time I looked at, so my daughter was born when I was 19, and when I was 22, one of the previous prophets, the prophet right before my father, he was Google eyeing her, and I just looked at him and I looked at her and I was like, I can't do this to her. But I was 22 at the time, and that was the first time that the thought had ever crossed my mind that I could actually leave. Other than that, I had no in fact, I wanted to give a shout out to Cam49 because you made a comment on our live video and I wrote it down. Um, and because you on the live with growing up in polygamy, and the comment was, "It doesn't work that way," is my quote of the day. I didn't know that things didn't work a certain way. Everything had to be a certain way. And that was probably one of the number one things that I learned when I left was, oh my God, that doesn't really work that way. It doesn't really work that you're going to, get in a car
Mhm.
accident if you leave. It doesn't really work. And so you had made that comment on the live and I wrote it down because I thought it was so funny because it's like you leave and there's all these awakenings and ahas that you start having, like, what? I did not know that it didn't work that way. I did not know
Mhm.
that, um, yeah. And it had never occurred to me that I actually could walk away until I was watching that. And another thing, and then I'll let you answer the question. People had asked, what class did we take? And I've mentioned this before. Again, Dorothy Allred Solomon and her husband started a class here in Utah. She is one of Rulon Allred's daughters. It was an accountability training. I don't necessarily, it's life. It was a branch off of a company called LifeSpring, which I do believe can turn into a cult myself. So I'm not promoting that. Um, but it was a self accountability class, and I had never grasped some of those concepts. So I was in that class because Dorothy wanted to help as many former plig kids as she possibly could. And that's what got me into, and so then I got Corey into the class.
Yep.
So yeah, that was the first time in my life that I opened up and went, wow, it doesn't really work this way. I guess I could leave if I wanted to. And then I left. And then, of course, I thought God was punishing me and went back for 2 more years because I'm like, well, shit, I guess it does work that way. I guess I'm screwed. I guess I have to stay in this for the rest of my life. And then realizing, no, it really doesn't work that way. And then left again at almost 26. Um, but up until then, no, I had never considered that I could leave. Leaving was impossible.
Mhm.
The world was too dangerous. People were too dangerous. I had already made covenants that I would rather give up my life and die than at a couple days into 17, I would rather give up my life and die than leave.
Yeah.
And so leaving was never even optional for me until I looked at my daughter and went, and I think most people leave because of their children in my experience, but I could be wrong. What do you think?
Well, with me personally, I would say I was probably 13 or 14, and I did not want to be a part of the community anymore, but I
Mhm.
knew I couldn't legally leave until I was 18 years old. And
Mhm.
so it's kind of interesting as we talk about um, leaving the all I knew was the community. I knew my family, I knew the community, and I had a small group of aunts and uncles and grandparent that were not a part of the community. They were down here in Salt Lake. So I left at 18, but most of my connections were up in Montana where I grew up.
Mhm.
And so I had connections outside of the community. And when I came down here to Salt Lake, the only place that I could get work, I had applied at a couple different places, but the only place I got work was a cabinet shop at a
For the polygamous
for the
people.
polygamous people. And I only worked there 6 months. I went and worked part-time jobs, things like that. But I eventually moved back up to Montana because I had full-time work. I knew the people up there in the valley is what
Mhm.
the Bitterroot Valley knew we were hard workers. And so I had got a job um, at a fast food restaurant and then with a guy doing masonry. And so did I leave the community? I worked outside of the community at that time. Um, and so I was working up in Montana and making more friends outside, dated outside of the community, and never participated. From 18 on, I never participated. I never got advanced in their churches. I never went to their church after 18. It wasn't until there was interest with somebody within the community. And as part of that, you were supposed to associate within the community. Their parents were part of the community. And when that didn't work out, and I was leaving because I was coming back down to Utah, we had set up a job or a business down here in Utah. That's when they felt like in spite, you're excommunicated and you're not welcome back up in the community. And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you guys have no control whether I come back up here or not. I was being very stubborn at the time. And all they did was excommunicate me to give me um, basically to tell me that I wasn't welcome back up in the community. But I feel like I physically left
Yeah.
um, when I was 18. I feel like I mentally didn't want to be a part of any of their rituals or things after the age of about 14.
Really?
Yeah, I did not want most of my, I would have to say, most of my brothers were the same way. You've got a lot of Kerner boys that are still deacons within the priesthood because they refuse to move forward in
Interesting.
priesthood ordinances after a certain age. So they did not want to become the next level or
Yeah.
participate anymore. They felt like it was a cult at that time. And so if you ask a lot of my brothers, what did you advance to? I was a deacon, maybe a teacher, but they didn't go
But in the
past or
LDS
beyond that.
church, you were made an elder, right?
I was just, yep,
Like you act like
because
you're.
of my age.
I was just like, you act like that's a bad thing.
No, they just at that point, I guess I was older, and yeah, and that's the thing. I joined the LDS church, and so
One
I
thing
felt,
too that sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off right there. One thing that we were talking about earlier was that I wanted to bring up is how abusive these religions can be on the men and their free labor,
yeah,
and how
uh,
and when you came down here to work for the cabinet shop, they wouldn't give you.
yeah. You were given a base pay, and then on top of that,
But they wouldn't give you an advance
if
in
you
pay because
exactly,
you didn't have
unless
the
you had a
family to.
wife or
Yeah.
children, then you could get higher pay things. And I worked there 90 days. I'd been told that at the 90-day mark, they would analyze it and then give you a pay raise based on
Yeah.
your wants and needs. I'm like, well, I want and need some more money. And they said, well, do you have wives? I don't have any wives. Do you have children? Well, if I did, then you guys would be angry with me. So no, I don't have children either. And so it was like, okay, no pay raise. And I'm like, okay, see ya, bye. And I quit. Um, there was another thing that we were talking about early. Cody had said that he couldn't get
Oh, he couldn't ask for a release.
ask for a release. Um, and I had basically said, well, yeah, he could have. He could have. So, but I just wanted to kind of reiterate that too, or highlight on that. Growing up in the community that we grew up in, a man's responsibility was to um, take care of his families. And so socially, I think Cody may have been only talking about that. I don't know how Cody was doing it, but socially, it is socially unacceptable for a man to go and ask for a release from a wife.
Mm-hmm.
It means he's not qualified to be a husband. Um, uh, and so if he goes and says, I'm not this isn't working, well, you're not a responsible leader. And so within the social structure of the AUB, it is a shame to go, and there have been men that have left wives,
Mm-hmm.
but they leave the community too. And this is where then you get they abandon their wives and children.
Yep.
That they'll take one wife and say, I'm done.
Well,
That
look at Cody
Yep.
Brown.
And they leave, and then they are social pariahs from within the community for doing that. And so, and they definitely are not going to get more wives. Um, and so you are supposed to build upon your kingdom. So, yes, he could have gone and said, uh, I don't want to be married to this wife anymore. Can you reassign her? And socially, he would have not got any more wives.
Mhm.
And socially, he would have probably been told by the leaders, no, your responsibility is to take care of it. And if you want to be a good member of society, you will take care of that wife.
Right. And
So
what's funny too is like the way you just said that, I don't want to be married to this wife. Can you It's like I can see
reassign
Cody.
her.
Yeah, I can see Cody going to the leadership. I don't want to be married to Christine anymore. She's a bad sister wife. I just want to be done with her. Can you reassign her, please? Like, can you imagine?
Recycle her back into the community.
Yeah, like, can you imagine how bad that would be? It would be so bad. But that is very true what he's saying. Again, men can go ask for it, but on a social structure, no, they can't.
Mhm.
Socially, he would be a pariah type person at
Yeah.
that point. He would be the worst of the worst if he did. But can he technically do it? Yes,
Yeah.
he can.
And he's done it. I mean, ultimately, he's done it the other way, where
He just ran them
now
all off.
he's just with the wife, and the other wives have just basically
And we
said,
see
"Yeah,
that
okay,
all
we're
the
done."
time. We literally see it all the time where men just will run their wives off. And then
Yeah,
it's like, well, you chose to leave. I feel like my ex-husband did that. He did everything he could possibly do to make me leave. And then when I left, then he got to be the victim of it. He got to be the, oh, she left. Oh, her dad told her that just, I'm not going to give you a release, but just go act like you're not married anymore. Um, and again, this is where the psychological um, chains come in, where you get where it's like you might have physically left, but psychologically you're still chained to the belief system. What were you going to say?
so nothing. That just sounded so weird that the PSR said, "What is that? Who's that coming from?"
What? No,
That
that's what Joe said on TikTok.
okay.
He was like,
The PSR, the Lord's
yeah, no,
anointed
he
man,
actually
said,
didn't say it on TikTok. He said it on a different
"Okay,
social media platform where he was like, my father-in-law gave her the worst advice and told her just to go out and pretend like she wasn't married anymore. Just act like she's not married. And so what did my ex-wife do with that? She ran with that and she did it and she took it to a point of no return. Now she can't return to me
or God
or God.
through
But I
him,
can,
through him."
whatever. I can clean his house for him apparently, or clean his mansions in heaven, or take care of the weeding on the planet he's going to build somewhere. I don't know. There's all my cynicalism. Sorry, cynicism. Um, but yeah, so you talk about the psychological chains that you're still stuck to. In fact, I wanted to bring that up on the live that we did with growing up in polygamy. That is one of the things that David had actually brought it up, and it's a really good point. How we are so chained, the coercive control. One of the things that David had mentioned is that he had sisters who had left and then
Mhm.
went back, and then left and went back, and had done this multiple times. And then Melissa had mentioned she had some sister-in-laws come out, and one of her sister-in-laws had talked about she couldn't take off her prairie dress because she was told by her father that if she took off the minute she took off her prairie dress, she would be raped and molested by all these men,
And
right?
that's a threat.
And that is the
With
absolute
if
threat.
you go out into the world, yeah,
Yeah.
all and yeah,
Well,
it's
and
a threat and a teaching or fears or anything like that. And so it is. These kids are growing up in
mhm.
fear, absolute fear of the outside world, more than they fear uh, swinging out over a cliff or climbing a 40-foot tree or stuff
Right.
like that. We were more afraid of the big scary cities and world and other churches than we were of things that we should have been
We
taught
should have
to
been
be a
scared
little bit
of.
more
We should have been
afraid
scared
of.
of a lot of the
So
predators well, and then Tanya tells of a story of she didn't say which leader it was, but one of the leaders of one of the groups, FLDS, Kingston, something. The wife was leaving with some of the children, and the leader, her husband, had said, "If you leave, you will be in a car accident, and and it will kill all of your children and you." And so when she left, she was terrified and paranoid of everything. And I was just listening to this as on the live, and I was thinking, this is exactly how I felt
mhm.
when I got married at 17. um, this question, when you were 17, did you realize that you were still a child in ways and know your brain hadn't even fully developed? No, I had no idea. And so here I go through this ceremony and receive garments. In the AUB, we wore long garments, so down to our wrists, down to our ankles, up to our necks. Now, sometimes you could loosen up here and wear lower cut shirts, but which you see some of the sister wives do in some of the episodes. But I was terrified to leave my house without those garments on. And there was one time, I've told this story before, but I I had to have a video back to the video store by like midnight or 11 p.m. at night, or I got a late fee. And I had just jumped out of the shower and oh my God, I forgot about this video. I jump in the car. Halfway there, I realized that I had not put my garments back on. And the video store is 2 minutes down the street. I was so terrified. I was sweating bullets. I was crying. By the time I got back home, I was terrified. I drove so extra cautiously that I was like, I'm going to die. And my baby's not going to have a mom. I had a baby at that point, and I was terrified. So here I am, 18 years old, and I literally jumped in the car to return a video. And that's how terrified I was that I was going to end up dead in that 2 minutes from my house to the video store and back. Um, and I just remember over the top caution. And then there was a time where so I had only in the 10 years, 9 years that I wore garments, I only left the house without them twice. And the second time, my daughter had a seizure. And we had just gotten back from a long trip to Pinesdale to Montana, because my ex-husband's from Pinesdale too. And so I was doing laundry and I was washing all of them. So I didn't have my garments on, and my little girl had a seizure, and I ended up getting in an ambulance and heading to the hospital with her. And halfway there, I remember thinking, oh my God, not she's going to die and I'm going to die in this ambulance in a car accident because I forgot to put my garments on before I got in the car, before I got in the ambulance. But here I am, like, so worried about this medical thing. And so when we talk about like how constricted we are, the chains, like, again, we've said this on our channel numerous times, that your brain, it's almost like the damage that is done to our brains is the same as active war, as soldiers that come back from active war. That's some of the damage. Like, I literally got to the hospital. The first thing I did was called my mother in. I was terrified, in tears. You have to bring me garments. I can't go back home. How am I going to get back home? I can't drive back home. Um, and I was so terrified of that. So anyways, I'm going on all these long tangents. Sorry,
Well,
but it was terrifying. It was literally terrifying.
and that's because of the belief system or the teachings that the PSR speak are the mouthpiece of God. And so whatever they say, whatever they do is almost like it's written down as scripture,
Yeah.
as prophecy. And so they're constantly prophesying doom, gloom,
Yeah.
things. And if they actually took tally on how many of their prophecies came about, it would be
None.
yeah,
Pretty damn. Or they're
percentages of
self-inflicted because you're
percentages.
too
Yeah.
worried. You wrecked your
So
own car because you
exactly. And so none of their prophecies come true. I mean, I've been around for 55 years. My parents sat there and told me that when the prophecy, when they were building on the South Mountain here, the second coming of Christ, we had prophecies that
Oh,
one
yeah.
of my older mothers would live to see the second coming of Christ. Well, I missed it because she passed away years and years and years ago. So their prophecies don't come true, but because of the belief system that they are the mouthpiece of God, and
Yeah.
whatever they say is God's prophecy, and they're writing down everything that they're saying as prophecy. It makes me sad because I grin when somebody's prophesying. Uh, these people, we grew up believing these prophecies. It took many a apocalypse coming and going before I was like, yeah, I'm not going to believe them anymore.
Yeah.
So
And
and a lot of therapy.
that
So
is so true, because then you're just like, again, I loved that comment,
yeah,
that it doesn't work that way,
yeah.
because I did not know that it didn't work that way. I genuinely didn't. I genuinely thought I'm dead because I left the house
Mhm.
unprepared in a medical condition, so yeah, thank you so much for those, the floating heart, fiery one. Thank you so much. And then Rachel Simpson for the sunshine. Thank you so
And there
much
was
for
a
that.
bus too.
Yeah, and
Thank
I was
you.
just going to get to that. Callie 239 sent a bus. Thank you so much. Um yeah, brainwashing is one hell of a drug. It genuinely
Mhm.
is, and I was so young. So the first time that that happened, I was 17, and then the second time that that happened, I was 19.
Mhm.
And so I was very, very young when, and I believed everything that I was told. I believed that, yeah, it was terrifying. Oh, what did you do? What did you think after you didn't die, when you didn't have your garments on? Did you think that you were lucky on these occasions? Yeah. I wanted to believe. The first time I thought God gave me a hall pass, maybe because I had good intentions, because we are also told that you're judged by the intent of your heart. And so I was like, phew, I literally got home that night and hugged my baby so tight, because I didn't know if I was going to make it home. And then the second time, that I didn't die, I literally felt like it was because, it was a medical condition and God was giving me grace. That was the only thing I could come up with, was God was giving me grace. And I actually might have been almost 20 when that second one happened. Um, and so that was how I justified it, because again, God knew the intent of my heart, and the intent of my heart was to follow the rules. I was such a stupid rule follower. I followed them to the T, it felt like. Um, and I was a total asshole to those who didn't. And I apologize. If you are watching this video and I was that asshole to you, I am so sorry. Also, if you are watching this video and you do have a story that you want to share, please reach out to
Yeah,
us. We would
we'd
love
love
to
to
help you
have you.
tell your story if you feel like you are at a point where you want to. Again, no pressure. We never want anyone to ever feel like they have to tell their stories. But just know that we're here for you if you do want to tell your story. And genuinely, I do want to apologize to all those people that I was very, very judgmental of those that didn't follow the rules as strictly as I held to myself. I was such a jerk.
I was a curious kid. We did get a watch when we were kids. My parents had a VCR, and
The
so we got
VCR. Our
yeah,
kid was like, "What the hell's a
yeah.
VCR?"
And we were occasionally allowed to see Disney movies, and so my father's being very profound one day, telling us how that um, we all have the priesthood, which is the right to act in God's name, and the garment is that reminder of the power we hold. Well, I just watched Dumbo, and I'm like, oh my goodness! So the
The
garments are like
magic
the little
feather.
magic feather. So just to remind us of, he did not approve or appreciate that I was comparing the Lord's holy garment to a magic feather that Dumbo used to fly. So
Yeah.
and so I'm like, so really, we've always had the power. It's just a reminder. We don't have to wear the garments. And yeah, I was too curious of a kid, and I got told why we needed to and used fear tactics, why we need to do it. I've never worn them. I've never had them, and I've been pretty lucky.
But
So
you were also taught to wear your clothes as if you did have them.
that's true.
And
So
so
maybe it's just
So when you showed up at Lake Powell all ripply and muscly
mm,
without a shirt on, and I was like,
and
"Ooh, who's
short
this guy?"
shorts. You were like,
And
he's
you
a
did wear
heathen.
short shorts too. I was like, "Oh my god, dude."
So
Yeah,
my
that was
Daisy
very funny.
Dukes.
Yeah, you did have Daisy Dukes
No,
on.
I didn't. They weren't Levi. So,
Yeah. The last time I took off my garments, I was so worried that anything I did would have serious
mhm.
consequences. When they didn't happen, that was the final nail in the coffin for me to be able to stay.
Yeah, Dumbo was pretty scared too when he lost the feather till he flew. So,
Yeah.
hey, you have
Yeah.
the power.
And I agree with you on that one. When I took mine off, I still even followed the rules. I followed the rules on how I was supposed to get rid of them. I because I didn't want to be disrespectful about the process, so I literally took them off because there's a process that you're supposed to follow when you do take them off. There's a process on how you um discard them when you're done. It's very kind of similar to like the American flag, how there's a process that you take, like you're supposed to hold them with the utmost respect. I followed that process even though I didn't believe in the AUB anymore. I didn't believe in the process of it. I did follow that part of it. And when I went back to the AUB a few years later, my dad asked me, "How did you get rid of your garments the first time?" And I told him, and he was like, "Okay, you're worthy to come back again," because I had shown respect. And then even the second time I left, I did the same thing. I just tried so hard because um it was
Just in case.
yeah. Yeah.
Just in case it might be true. I don't want to get hit by lightning. I don't know.
Yeah. So let's see.
Why do all the moms uh, pass away in Disney movies? I don't know.
Oh, you know why, right?
So it brings up emotion. So you're sad.
No,
There's
because
tears.
no, from what I understand from like the Disney lore is because Disney's mom died when he was little.
Oh.
And so he didn't have a mom in his life. So that's why he does that. Oh.
Hmm.
And I agree with this. It's a shame that so many faith practices are built around fear instead of love and trust.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm sorry about this one. Yes, I was a faithful watcher from day one, liked every video, subscribed and hyped every time I could. And then Melanie said, we'll answer questions and acknowledgments from paying members. I haven't watched since. I'm sorry about that. Sometimes our lives were getting so big that we had to filter who we can talk to. But again, we will definitely acknowledge when we can, but we try to acknowledge. We definitely want to make it worth your while to subscribe. And I think to subscribe to our channel is like $2 a month or $3 a month. I can't even remember. It's super cheap. And so that's why I do it that way. It's because sometimes we get to so many people on the live that and we don't always have moderators. And so it's just us trying to filter through the comments as we're going. So yeah, so I'm sorry that that was offensive. I certainly didn't mean anything offensive, and I try to answer questions when I can. Let's see.
Yeah. What I think I just explained the seven heron. Did you see that one? What's the point?
I'm trying to scroll down. What?
What's the point of the garments anyway? What's their backstory?
The garments are, honestly, in my opinion, it is 100% about control, power and control. That's all it is. It's to keep you submissive, to keep you in line, just like Dumbo and the feather. It is 100% a form of control. It is something that if you believe, it's almost like manifestation. If you think about that or believe in manifestation, it's like when you think about something for so long, you manifest whatever it is. Well, it's the same thing with the garments. If you believe that they have a power, then
Or if you're taught from birth that they have
yeah.
some sort of power.
Yep.
And so ultimately, I think, uh, I don't know, uh, they had special clothing that you would put on to go through the temple. I think this was all brought from the Masonics. The Masons have some sort of rituals that you went through. Joseph Smith was a Mason. He's like, hey, the Masons got it wrong. I'm going to fine tune everything. And you have to wear these garments to protect you
Mm-hmm.
with these symbols on throughout your life. They're meant to, if you're wearing them and making these oaths and covenants to God, then God will protect you. Um, and then uh, and then you're learning special handshakes, special rituals and words to get you through the veil
Yeah.
into heaven at the end of your life. And so if you want that information, so this is teachings, if you want that information so that you can make it know what to say at the end of your life to pass through the veil and make it into heaven, you'll need to come to our temple, get these, learn these special handshakes, make these oaths and covenances, and a special name to be resurrected at the end of your life,
Yeah.
and make it into heaven. And oh yeah, by the way, for you to be able to come in the temple, you need to pay a 10% tithing. You need to be obedient to your priesthood leaders and the leader of the church. You need to do all of these other things. It is absolutely, you can't get into heaven
Right.
unless you have all of these things. You can't get these things unless you go through the temple. You can't go through the temple unless you swear allegiance to the PSR at this time and pay a full tithing and be obedient. So that's ultimately uh, the the garment is in an AUB or a blue ribbon. So it means you won a prize and you went through the temple and you were obedient. You paid all your tithings and you did all the stuff that you were supposed to do. It's your blue ribbon and your key to the city to get into the kingdom of heaven. So,
Yeah.
and you might get a gold ribbon if you have 7 wives and 2 more sashes on your stuff. So you can get all sorts of ribbons when you go into.
Well, and honestly, I think like the
I'm being
FLDS, they
flippant
have
about
it too, but theirs is the prairie dresses. And so I think that most organized religions have something that they hold on to that is a symbol of your belief in that particular organization, whatever, in I don't want to get flippant about it, but there is
I did get
you've got
flippant,
the
sorry guys.
no, you've got the rosary in Catholicism. There's every religion I think has something that it's to be a gentle reminder of the covenants and promises that you've made. In the AUB, it didn't always feel so gentle because it was long sleeves, long pants, long, up to your neck. So it didn't always feel gentle. Or I think that's the purpose of it in most religions, is to have a gentle reminder of promises and covenants, a daily, something that is with you all the time. Somebody wants to know if you showed the same amount of reverence when you discarded your Daisy Dukes.
Didn't.
He still has
Sorry
those.
guys. Yeah, I'm feeling very
You're fine. I don't think
irreverent today. So
yeah.
We were raised that they meant it was a remembrance. It was all of that stuff. If people use that to be good persons and they need that that as a reminder to do good unto others, things like that, I'm not mocking any of that. I just, for me, it was a exactly what you said. It's a way of controlling the group. So it's a way of controlling people. If you didn't do what they told you were going to do, then you didn't get to go through and get, if you were a higher class citizen within the community, you got to go in and get married and in their temple, their special temple, and get on their garments. If you weren't allowed to go in. So, I mean, for heck's sakes, they opened up that temple in what, 86?
The AUB temple in 86.
Yeah. And so, and I don't think my mom could correct me or everything, but they weren't invited to go through that temple till 3 years later because they were lower class citizens.
So a lot of people in the AUB did not wear garments. Now my dad wore garments when he married my mom. He married his first wife in the Salt Lake Temple, so he was able to. He had garments on when he married my mom, but my mom did not wear garments, and she married my father in 70 or 71, I think 71, maybe 72, and she didn't start wearing garments till 1986. And that's because that's when she went through the endowment and was able to get her. So in a lot of my mom's early pictures, she's in tank tops or short sleeves. I don't want to say tank tops, but short sleeves. And that was because, again, the AUB did not have their own temple work until 86. And as a second wife, you couldn't go through the Mormon temple, but my dad did wear garments the entire time. And so I want to put this up. Garments are supposed to be like a sacred protection, not fundamentalist, but grew up Mormon. And so for me, it felt like a coercive control for me growing up. And I think so the All Red group, or the AUB, wears the original garments from the original, that is what they claim, from the original. And I think when you are in a religion that tells you to marry a bunch of different girls, it's to take away some of that sexual promiscuity. Am I saying that word right? And
modest is hottest.
Modest is hottest, that kind of stuff.
Keeping
Yeah.
yourself modest. And
yeah. And so for me, it felt like it was
covenants.
When I very first started wearing them, it felt like it was a privilege, it was an honor, it was to show, all of those things. And then after a while, it became more weaponized. And so I think, unfortunately, it has turned into more of a weapon for a lot of people than it has for not. And again, not everyone feels that way. I didn't feel that way at the very beginning when I started wearing them. And the Mormon Church has modified theirs to the point where, you can. I think they have a tank top one now. And so again, I don't want to.
Still got the symbols on it. So.
Right. They do have special symbols and stuff like that.
Ritual things.
And somebody says, is it true that the temple, that there's a ritual that you're anointed with oil in unseen parts of the body? I did have that experience. Yes. Yeah. And so, let's see, why underpants? Why not magic hats? I think the reason why is because it's a constant reminder all the time. It's something that you think about all the time. Like if I'm going to go to the bathroom, I'm going to have to think about, moving or removing, and so it's something that is a constant reminder of my commitment to God.
Because society says that when you come in the house or in front of ladies, you remove the hat, and this was supposed to be worn and not removed. And so it's hard to wear a holy hat indoors. And then when you have to take it off to prophesy or translate golden plates, then
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, just because I think the rituals were passed down or learned from the what is it? The Masons.
Yeah.
And so the Masons have, I think a lot of religions have some sort of symbolistic undergarments or aprons or things like that. So
yeah,
all going back to.
And again, no hate on the rosary. I wasn't trying to cause any. I feel like every religion has something that is a reminder of this. It's not. It's.
Yeah.
I don't. That's why I was hesitant to even say it, because I don't want to say that it's like anything that's but.
But if you go out and you can go out and buy a rosary and remember it and do all that stuff. I don't know. I don't know the stipulations on the rosary. So if this is a true principle, and you should be wearing the garments and you should know these things, and they should be given to everybody.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Whether you pay tithing or not.
So we'll just briefly touch on this one, because this is a whole deep subject. The law about abuse, or CSA, are not very good in most states. If it's biological relative, the abuser usually gets pretrial diversion so that they can do some counseling stuff and no record once it's completed. So this is a whole, we're going to wrap up in about 15 minutes. So I could go on for hours about this particular subject. I think it's complete crap. It's so frustrating. It's so angry. So when my grandfather was prosecuted, he could not be prosecuted for me because the statute of limitations had expired. So he had to be prosecuted for my sisters and my younger sisters, who were still within the statutes of limitations too. And they took my abuse and my other sister's abuse into consideration when he was being prosecuted, when he was being sentenced. When he was being sentenced, they took our situations and in part of the sentencing. So
it's a Freudian slip.
Yeah. And so that's what's frustrating to me. Like, that's a whole deep subject that is infuriating to me. I think it's so unfair because, again, I did not feel like I was allowed to talk about it. In fact, Corey and I were creating a timeline the other day of like what happened the very first time I started talking about my grandpa, and
Mhm.
why wasn't it prosecuted the very first time when I started talking about it, and what did my parents do about it, what didn't they do about it. So I was creating a timeline, um,
Mhm.
because I'm curious for myself, and yeah, that's a whole can of worms that I feel like we don't have time, that I don't know that I want to dig into right now, because I'm processing through some of the shit that I feel like I'm getting in my family right now due to talking about some of these things online. So I don't know if I want to bring up any more of that, but I agree with you on this. I think it's crap.
It's shame upon the family. It's
Uh-huh.
shame upon the family cow. I love all that, was that from Mulan?
Yeah.
Shame upon your family. So,
Yeah, and I agree with this. It's absolutely backwards. A family member should be punished more severely, in my opinion. I absolutely, I yeah. Um, let's see.
equal,
Yeah, it's
at least equal.
frustrating. Um, yeah, I agree with this. Like a wedding ring, garments are a sign and a token.
Jay Patel.
Oh, hey, Kern. Yeah. Hey, has anyone
Hello.
watched Emily's podcast with Jaden Jeffs? I was shocked to hear about the control of the group and the PSR, but also from the greater community shaming. And I have not had a chance to sit down and watch
I've
that
seen a
yet. I've
part of it.
talked to
Yeah.
Emily about it. I've seen Jaden's
Yeah.
portion with Emily, but I haven't watched Emily's portion with Jaden. So we are going to be talking about, yeah, I'll watch that. Emily wants to come and do a live with us. Um, and then we can talk about that. I got to catch up on these comments. I think you should post a photo of Ripley in Daisy Dukes. Your new nickname is Rip.
Oh, that is awesome. I know
Okay,
I need to be
I'm
reading the
sorry, but
comments.
Rip off of the Dudson Ranch is sexy as hell. I just absolutely think that guy is so sexy. And I do have a picture of Corey. So if you follow us on Instagram, maybe that one will go up.
That's close. Yeah. Oh, man.
Come on, you are
Yeah,
really
I do
hot.
have Daisy Dukes. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's see. Um, oh, Emily did a great job of getting Jaden to open up. Right on. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to go.
yeah.
I'll have to go check that out. Yeah, Emily and I have been chatting a little bit the last couple of days about other stuff, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm about to post this," and so I want her to come over. She wants to come over and do a live with us. Okay, so let's see. Do you want generally about shame and sex? How to get a sex life after that? I think would help many religious. Oh, do you want about to know about generally about shame and sex and how to get a healthy sex life after that? I would think would help many people. Um, we're not taught about any of that. At least I wasn't. I literally wasn't even taught about my period in any way. I was none of that. Was even none of that. It's sad. It's really sad. So I'm not
I
sure. This guy is obviously upset with me, and I apologize. I know you saw my comment, Melanie. You too made it to this point because we watched and subscribed and hyped. YouTube pays you. I used to wait for your videos. And absolutely, I'm not saying YouTube doesn't pay us. I'm just saying our videos are getting blocked and demonetized, and then I have to appeal it with YouTube. And I'm not trying to get anywhere on YouTube. I'm genuinely not. If our message gets out there, it gets out there. If it doesn't,
No,
it
we
doesn't.
appreciate
We
people
appreciate the people who are showing up on our
doing
channel. Absolutely do.
and
I'm
sharing and
and
doing all
sharing
that.
our content. We're not trying to get anywhere or accomplish anything. The anger and the hate that we get towards us from our family, because of what we're saying and doing, that is what's discouraging. That's what makes me wonder if it's even worth it. And when Tanya mentioned that on the live, do you guys feel cut off and ostracized by people who have already left the AUB because you're speaking out? Yeah, that's where it gets discouraging. I'm not worried about the money part of it.
No, and I think it's just us talking of frustration. It's one of those things where we know that there are
Yeah.
a group, there are some people that are constantly reporting
Yeah.
our videos. And so I think it was more of a conversation of, do we
Is this worth?
do we charge for them to watch the video so that they have to?
So we know who's
So
turning us
who's
in,
doing
damn
it?
it.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. We don't know. We're just kind of
Yeah.
analyzing. No, we
We don't want
appreciate.
to. We don't want to charge for,
I
I don't want to
doubt.
have a
I want to
paywall.
put out content, and
Yeah.
because honestly, yeah, it's reaching a lot of family
And this
within the
is so
community.
true. And
Within the
we do not
community.
have any brand
So
deals or any paid. Well, we do have the paid memberships, but we do not have brand deals as of right now. We just haven't looked into it. We just haven't. We
yeah, we're
haven't.
working.
Yeah,
It's a constant work.
it is. And so for me, it's the that's what I said to Corey. I'm like, the constant anger and the hate. I'm poor Beth. I was talking to Beth yesterday and I was like, I'm just going to be a jerk today. I'm like, I don't know if the anger and the hate that I get from my family for speaking out is worth this sometimes. It feels like it's not worth it. And again, um, if we really, I mean, we've been doing this about 18 months now pretty consistently, you know, I don't know. We don't have a lot. We don't have, we've never done a brand deal as of now. And I'm not saying that to make us some sort of, I would do a brand deal if I had one, but I don't have the time to go into it and figure it out. I can barely figure out our audio and our video. And so
Chopstick.
I'm not trying to get anywhere. I'm not trying to climb the highest ratings on YouTube. I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm just trying to speak out and let people hear my story, maybe give other people a platform to tell their stories. That's the only thing I'm trying to do. So I'm sorry if you have some upset with me. You're welcome to unfollow the channel and go somewhere else. I would not blame you at all.
No,
But yeah.
I just think that, yeah, he's just saying that it feels like a paywall, that we're reaching people. And so,
Yeah, and that is our goal, is to reach people. The biggest thing is just
and
how
we appreciate everybody who's helping do that.
right.
And
That's why we yeah. But some of the stuff we do
we
talk
even
about is
appreciate the people who are turning us in, because at least they're watching our stuff. And I don't know if it's torture for them to have to sit and watch us to then turn us in.
Do you think they really watch, or do you think they're just like,
oh, they did another one? Click.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah. I think that's more of what it is they don't necessarily yeah, not Corey with a Mulan reference. I'm trying to catch up with here. Let's see. I want a Ben Brown interview. Oh my gosh. I have thought about, Ben doesn't live too far from us. I kind of thought about that too. We need to figure out how to set up our studio so we can have more than, because right now it's just set up for two of us. We need to figure out how to do that. Let's see. Trying to get more. Oh, I'm sorry, Rachel. Good luck with your situations. Thank you for being a part of the live. And we genuinely appreciate everyone who has shared our content, who has been a part of our content. I'm genuinely not trying to break any YouTube records of any sort. Like, if that was the case, I think we've had, I don't know, if that was the case, I'd be out there doing a lot.
Daisy Duke,
yeah, I'd be out there doing a lot more than I'm doing now. We're just trying to figure this out. And I definitely am not wanting to sound like I'm unappreciative of those who follow us, because absolutely, we genuinely appreciate it. Let's see. I'm curious about this. In my opinion, that inner circles of all Mormon religions practice secret sex magic. Have you ever heard of anything like that? You go first. I'm letting you go first. Everyone says I always cut you off. Go.
No.
Yes. And I personally have never participated in that, but I have heard of it. And yeah.
Can you elaborate? I've never.
Well, we've been watching those videos too lately. Where there was well, and your brothers were accused of it.
Sex magic?
Yeah. rituals, sexual rituals. I don't, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong thing, but ritual, sexual ritual abuse, that kind of stuff. Let's see. And I'm not going to only answer people's questions that pay us. That's not it. It's just when we don't have a moderator and it's just the two of us and we have to like watch the questions come through quickly, we have to prioritize things. It's not in any way meant to be a diss to anybody who's not willing to pay us. All it is for us, genuinely, it's just, we got to watch these freaking comments coming through and we want to make sure that people feel seen and heard on our page. And so, Katie, we have Katie and we have Rosa, and they always can't be on our lives. And so if anyone would like to mod for us and we can answer more questions, that'd be great.
Yeah, Livy Lou got that correct. Mel, you don't cut him off. You just complete his thoughts. Your male energy is not a bad thing.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. I know when Christine from Sister Wives helped some women see the light, but the length of time she took to leave, abuse of her children, and she has money, is concerned about her image, makes it tricky to hear her. I can see those concerns for sure. Oh, I definitely can see that. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Katie. Thanks, Katie girl. You can't make everyone happy, guys. Just make the best decisions for you all and let others have their feelings about it. And that's honestly, yeah. But this is definitely what we're talking about. Special edition podcasts would appeal behind a paywall. That's what I'm thinking, because there are some subjects that we're going to talk about that will get flagged, and we can't necessarily have, and they're very, very personal. And I don't know that I want to put those would definitely, I think, be behind a paywall for our own sense of protection. Thank you so much, Random Old Lady. Thank you for that. We appreciate that. Let's see. All right, we're going to wrap up in about 10 minutes. I'm trying to catch up on the comments. Your lives are so informative. Even though I'm never Mormon, your experiences can apply to life in general. Yeah, thank you. That's what I really appreciate that. We met with somebody the other day and they said the same thing. And I really genuinely appreciated that, because I didn't want to name our channel after polygamy because of that. And so, Beth's about to be our new mod. Where are you, Beth? Make a comment on here so I can make you a mod. So, I didn't want our channel to specifically be about polygamy. I wanted to be able to talk about healing, to be able to talk about so many other things, which is why I didn't put polygamy in the title. What were you going to say?
I just said that we grew up fundamentalist Mormon. I have cousins that grew up in the LDS church, and I actually had two friends that were part of the Seventh-day Adventist up in Montana, and it was so weird that we all kind of grew up with some of the exact same teachings, the same control, the same fear. So it's a world, I think, a lot. It's just amazing to become aware that we're not unique in the AUB. A lot of people have been raised very similar to us, and we're all just kind of learning how to assimilate within community and hang out with people because and not necessarily under the control of one religious leader, or in our case 12 religious leaders, or a father and 9 mothers, or you know what I mean? So each one of us had some sort of controlling factor. So
yeah. Well, welcome our newest mod, Beth. She just sent me a text and she was like, make me a mod right now. I'll do it. So yeah, thank you.
I know, need to have them kind of read through that. I wonder if they can read through it and throw up the questions.
They can't. I think
So
we're the only ones that
only
can
can
do
do
it
that. Yeah, that
because
would
of
be
our
cool.
platform, the way that we're doing. But like
Okay,
Rosa answers a bunch of questions, so she'll go through
perfect.
and answer a bunch of the questions, and so does Katie. And
Flow
so,
state.
yeah, um, yeah. So thank you so much. Let's see.
Thanks for that flow state.
Yeah,
I don't know
thank
what that
you.
was.
I don't know how it doesn't say where that came from either.
Mhm.
We are grateful for you both. I look forward to these Wednesday lives each week. Yeah, and I think we're going to try to stay very consistent with these too. Um, I really want to do another book club, and Beth wants to help us with the book club. I just don't know if we'll get to another book club before our daughter gets married. Her wedding is coming up in September, and we've had a wedding every year for the last, we had one in 24, 25, and now this one. So I don't know if we'll get another book club, especially with it being summer. It's a little harder. People aren't as like committed to their computers as and books. What are you
Yeah.
thinking?
Well, no, I'm excited. I'm reading a book right now. We could do it on that.
What? No, we are not doing a book on that. So,
Oh, my son's awesome. He's like, "Hey, Dad, I think you would really like this book. It's got your dumb sense of humor." And I'm like, "We didn't say dumb. He just says it's definitely got your sense of humor. Mom wouldn't appreciate it as much as you would." And so I've been listening to it, and I've very much enjoyed it. It
yeah.
definitely has my sense of humor. Every once in a while, I listen to a lot of self help stuff, things like that. But I've been reading these books, watching Sister Wives. Um, I feel like that a lot of times I'm like, well, wait a minute, that was such a long time ago in my life, and then I rewatch it, and it gets me like, oh man, that I need
Yeah.
a book with some sense of humor in it. And so then, yeah, no, I've got that. So I kind of bounce back between serious books and uh, good sense of humor
Can you
books.
tell
So
us the title now?
oh, do I admit to how
Warped his sense of humor
warped
is?
my sense of humor is?
It's pretty, it's a pretty warped book.
Yeah, it's a science fiction one. Uh, Dungeon Crawler Carl. So, and Kronk's um, narrating it, so I love it. The guy sounds just like Kronk. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So is it
yeah,
really sound like Kronk? Is
hmm
it, could it be the same guy?
no,
Oh,
but he
it's not.
talks just like him. So it
Yeah.
could be. Yeah, I haven't even looked at it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. That's hilarious. Um, oh, thank you so much. Just throwing this out there. If you ever need a mod or help, I'd be happy to volunteer. Okay.
okay.
Honestly. Yeah. Thank you so much. Because we, definitely when we get on larger lives, it's very helpful because I do, as you can see, we try to keep up, but there's so many comments that we miss that we're just like, yeah, we just don't see them. So he quotes Monty Python. I would expect nothing less. I know. And our kids are so funny because our son, it's the oldest one. He's the one who said that too. He was like,
Hmm.
I got a book for you.
It's got your sense of
He
humor.
was
That
10 when
one.
I married Corey. And so he yeah. And he's the one with our grandbabies, and it's so funny because he yeah, he's an avid book reader, and I think he reads probably 30 books, 30, 40, maybe 50 books in a year. And
Mhm.
so yeah, he's loving to show. Your sister says, "Why am I not surprised by the title?" Uh oh, Kronk makes an appearance in book 6.
Oh, does it? Okay. Well, I got 3 books I think right now that he's got. So I'm partway through the first book, and I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I'm laughing so hard.
Yeah, somebody
So
says, "Yes, I tend to read lighter titles in the summer." Yeah, and
yeah, I need to read it for my own sanity. So
well, it's just I think some of it gets too heavy in that last book club. I mean, so many of you guys warned us, and it was great. It was a good book,
yeah,
and so many of you guys warned us,
it
and
was eye
we were
opening.
like, "Oh, our pants got bigger." We were bigger than our pants at the time, and we just did it, and it really has been a lot to recover from. I don't feel like I want to read dark, heavy books like that again. At least not in a more controlled environment, for sure. That was a little not as controlled as I'm comfortable with.
And we just meld them. We should do a combination of Becoming Sister Wives and Dungeon Crawler.
I literally have
Carl.
it sitting right here, and I
So-
cannot seem to open it. It's exhausting.
I'll be like,
What's your favorite religious movie? Holy Grail or Life of Brian? He equally quotes them both.
yeah,
And then he
They're
gets some
intertwines. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious.
we grew up with Monty Python. I mean, we were always scared of the what was it, the ravine of peril. So, and having to answer the right questions.
Yeah.
My favorite color, blue. No, pink. Yeah.
And my kids are always like, it's a joke. Who is the best financier in the Bible? Noah. He floated his stock while everyone else was in liquidation.
Nice. See. Okay. The fun part.
Good Omens is funny. Yes, Corey has watched that too.
Oh yeah, Good Omens was. They should be doing another season. And I like both those actors. So, Melanie tells jokes, and she usually has to read.
I am not telling
times.
that joke. Do not tell that joke.
But
that's
I was just
a bad joke.
Say, hey, Melanie tells a joke, but then she's like reading each.
It takes like portion. I have to read the joke, then say the line, and then read the next line, and then tell the line. Yeah. I can't remember. I can't retain a joke in my mind for that long.
For some reason, my mind retains all of that stuff: jokes, movie lines, movies, and then for some reason, religion. Just I think the way we train scriptures and all this stuff, and I'm like, doggone it. So.
Oh, Dogma 2 is coming out, somebody says.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that too. I saw the previews for that one.
Yeah. So. Sorry about your headaches, Alice. This is Allison Ghana says, I've been having a lot of headaches, haven't been online much, watching on TV. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I've suffered migraines my entire life. I understand that.
We've had smoke in the valley.
Yeah, we've had some pretty severe fires.
And then there was a house fire right down the road from us
at 1 a.m.
So, yeah, there's definitely smoke in the air. We did get a little bit of rain. Somebody said sunny Scotland earlier on. The sun just came out now. We had some rain, which was good for us because it's taken that smoke out of the air, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had 3 children when I met Corey. My oldest was 5 at the time. And I had a little girl who was 3, so 3 and 5, and then
when you met me,
when I met Corey, and then by the time we got married, by the time I got divorced, and then Corey and I got married, he was 10. Was he 10? He might have been 11.
So when he was born,
yeah, he was born in 92, and we got married in 91, so he had just turned 10, and
we didn't.
We got married we got married in 2001. Sorry. He was born in 92. We got married in 2001. We're about to have a 25-year anniversary next week. If you can even believe that, which is insane to me.
I was sinning when in
91. Yeah. So our 25-year anniversary is coming up maybe in a week and a half, 10 days, something like that, which is absolutely insane. So I think we're going to wrap up. Thank you so much, Cindy Diller, for becoming a member. Again, we're throwing around some ideas on what we want to do with, or how we want to proceed with the channel, because we do want our message to get out there. Again, I'm not trying to break any YouTube records. I'm just wanting to get our story out there, but it is very discouraging when we put time and effort into something only to have it be suppressed and not. People don't. Again, I don't even care as much about the demonetization as the suppression. The suppression is what gets frustrating. What are you going to say?
What recommendations do people have? I mean, we've got that Becoming Sister Wives. I've read a portion of it, but yeah, what kind of book?
Yeah, but you already just expressed that even watching Sister Wives gets taxing on.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing both, back and forth, and then I'll combine them and be like, "Damn it, Cody." So
I know.
then you're getting part of Dungeon Crawler Carl and becoming sister wives. So I'll put
Yeah.
in some taglines from both of them.
So
Bring them
bad.
together, make it humorous. So
Yeah. So we'll figure it out. We'll probably start up another book club. I'm thinking in October, the 1st of October. Then that way we can have because her wedding is middle of September. So I'm thinking maybe even towards the end of September is when we'll start up our next one. Again, don't forget to follow us on all of our other social media. All of our handles are the same, Notes to Self 444. If you have a Patreon, the PDF I promised about projecting is on Patreon for free. Anyone can download it. I just haven't figured out how to get it onto YouTube. But I'm also going to put a link on that in our Instagram as well. Again, I want to put that out there for free. I'm not looking to make any money off of that. But if you don't have a Patreon, I'm trying to figure out how to like get it connected again. We're just these boomers that are trying to figure out technology, and our daughter's coming into town and hopefully she'll help us with some of that in a couple weeks. But thank you guys so much. What?
Did you I would like to interview
A Pinestone person?
a Pinedale person. Do you have anybody in mind? There's a couple that I would love to interview that grew up in Pinedale, but anybody in mind you have, and I'll try to see if I can get them on here. So.
Yeah. If you have anybody that you'd love, like anybody like any of those Jessups that want to come on to our channel, we'd love it. We wouldn't argue with it.
Or even my brothers. I'd love to get one or two of my brothers on here. I'm the more mellow of us, I think.
Can I just say too?
I wouldn't be they would be even more smart.
Can I tell about the picture you were just tagged in? So Corey was tagged in a photo on social media, and he comes in and he shows me this photo and he's like, I'm pretty sure that's Preston Jessup. And I'm like, oh, is it? Okay, yeah, he's super young. And sure enough, it is. And Preston's old girlfriend then commented on the photo because then Corey said, who's in this photo with us? I can't remember. So Preston's old girlfriend then commented and said, that's Preston and Corey and the guy who posted the photo. And she said, I took those photos. I remember taking those photos. And I just thought that was kind of interesting. We haven't mentioned that on our channel yet, but I thought that was funny because they are very young. Preston is very young.
Yeah, this is 35 years ago. We were young. We were babies. So.
And so Preston's old girlfriend, Fawn, is the one who commented on the photos. And I was like, wait, what is happening right now? Is this legitimately Fawn that is commenting on this photo, saying that she's the one who took the photo? So Corey's just this young little buck, just as cute as he can be, I think. But it's interesting. I think it's hilarious.
Couldn't grow facial hair back then.
No, you still barely can. But I was stunned at the tag on this photo because he was like, I'm pretty sure that's Preston, but this was so long ago. So yeah, Preston's ex-girlfriend Fawn is the one who took the photo and made a comment on social media. It's public, it's out there. I thought it was pretty funny. But we haven't mentioned it on our channel yet. I thought it was hilarious.
Too. I got some funny sisters.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and my name here 232. Will you email me? I'd love to know who you are. And then yeah, if you can email me notes to self 444 at gmail.com. I would love to talk to you and see, maybe see about getting yes, Allison, yes. So yeah, that's exactly who that is. So I thought that was very funny. I'm trying to get onto that comment and I can't make the comments stop. So yes, Allison Ganas. Yes, that's exactly who made the comment about it. Is Preston's girlfriend Fawn at the time, I guess, made the comment, and I thought it was very funny. Because I was like, Corey knew Preston, obviously. He knew Robin, obviously. He knew everybody, but he's a little bit older too. So it was very surprised to see this.
We all hung out. So
yeah, I'd love to interview Fawn. Fawn, if you watch us or you're a part of, we would love to talk to you. Anyone from the AUB or any
That
other
wants to
group
talk, yeah.
that wants to talk. I know Amanda Ray and I want to reach out to her. We met up a little bit ago and wanted to reach out to her to get more people. I feel like we're trying to learn
Well,
our shit before.
well, if anybody wants to correct me on my sarcasm and my take on some of the stuff that or had different points of view, I'd love that. I'm constantly joking about the way I grew up and stuff like that, and yeah, we had a fun group of friends growing up in Pinesdale. So yeah, we would love to. I would love to get around and reminisce about some of the stuff that we did for fun growing up on the compound. How we avoided priesthood leaders and the piney cop. So, but yeah, call us. I'd love to get on. Tell some stories about growing up in a compound.
Yeah.
So trying to be religious. So
Yeah. So
for agreements,
definitely
I would
we would
love
love
that
to
one.
have more people. And thank you for clearing up who you are. I mean, obviously I know exactly who you are. But yeah, if you could reach out to us and then that way we can kind of, again, we're still learning as we go. Beth's been wonderful. We've been learning on Beth a lot too. She's been wonderful. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. We definitely have had a wonderful this has been a
Experience,
great,
yep.
yeah, Amanda Ray. I would love to have her on here. This has been a great uh live, and thank you guys all for being so respectful in the
Mhm.
comment section. We genuinely appreciate that. We are going to try to throw out a couple more videos this week on our season 4 of Sister Wives. And I'm going to start probably going live a little bit more on TikTok. I know everyone doesn't have TikTok, but I just haven't really paid. I kind of let my TikTok go dormant, so I'm going to try to revive that a little bit. But thank you guys so much. What are you laughing at?
I'll go. If you guys want to follow me on TikTok, I'll do a review on uh, Dungeon Crawler
Oh my
Carl.
god. It sounds
So,
horrible.
it is. It's only appreciated by people with like sense of humors. You guys wouldn't get my sense of humor on that book. So
Yeah. No, it's horrible. I already listened to some of it. So everyone